Hi friends, welcome back to my channel Testing Mini Bytes. I am your friend Amudan Shaktivel. If you are new here to the channel, please make sure you share, subscribe, and like my channels if you really like the videos. And guys, let's get back to the business. And previously, we are implementing a lot of explicit waits in our framework, and we have written this if conditions. Okay, where if someone is telling you need to wait for the element to be clickable, okay, then we are waiting for that. Very we are implementing this particular strategy to wait until a particular element becomes clickable. Again, if they are not worried about the element clickability, if they just want the element to be present, then we are using this particular method from expected conditions to perform the task for us. But if you notice, this is not error free. Suppose in my home page, instead of clickable, okay, uh, instead of clickable, okay, let me again open this. Instead of clickable, if someone is typing click, okay, this Java compiler will not show any error, because it just need a string. This click method accepts a string. It can be anything, it can be even an empty string. Okay, so it does not store, show any errors. But your code will not even enter this if condition, will not enter this else condition, so it will directly go and try to click the element without doing any particular waiting strategy. So that's why you will get element not interactable exception, or your no such element exception. Okay, so what people normally do, okay, we add another if or condition here. So if the wait strategy dot again equals ignore case. Okay, if it is clickable or click, then I want to do the wait for clickability. But still, again they can use something else. Okay, they can use clicking. Okay, I cannot write a lot of logics. Okay, I cannot shield you know my code. Okay, so I want people to use a predefined set of values. Okay, they have to either use clickable or they have to use either present. Okay, this is what I want. I don't want people to pass me a empty string. Okay, I cannot do all the validation myself. It's not possible, humanly possible, right? So as a framework developer, I need to keep all this thing in mind. So what is the end goal? We want to make sure the user can only choose from a set of options. Okay, apologies for the typo. choose from the Choose from the list of predefined predefined options, and that's where enums comes into picture. Okay, we don't want to learn enum in a very small way. Okay, we want to explore what enum provides, so that we can use it whenever we need that. Okay, so we'll try to see the whole enum in detail. Okay, so let's get back to the slides, and this is what going to be the topic for today. Okay, we're going to speak more about enum. So first, we'll see what is enum. Okay, enum is a special Java type. Like, you have classes in Java, you have interface in Java, so you have annotations in Java, right? The same way, enum is a special Java type which is used to define a collection of constants. Again, if you don't understand what is this, we will see this is what we're going to achieve at the end. So obviously you want to understand that after a few minutes. Okay, so enum can contain constants and methods. Again, this is not important for now, because we're going to see it in a practical way. So, and then we also going to see how we can use enum in if conditions, how we can use enums in switch cases, how we can use enums with some instant variable. Suppose I want to associate an instance variable with all the enums. How can I do that? Okay, I'm sure that you may not get what I'm speaking now, but definitely down the lane in this video you will understand what I'm speaking. And then we'll enums have some methods with it. So values of, and then the two string methods which comes by default. Okay, so we will see all these things when we can use all these things. Okay, and we also see why enum cannot extend another class. Because it's extending enum java.lang.enum class by default, so it cannot extend any other class apart from that. So we'll see all that, but we'll also see how we can store enum in a in a set or a map interface. Okay, there is something new, enum set and enum map. We'll see what is that, because we're going to use enum map in our framework. So make sure you watch that enum map section. Don't skip it, because we're going to use it in our framework. It's going to be really helpful for us. Okay, let's get back to Eclipse. And Okay, so we are here. Now what I have done, I have created a package here, com.enums, and I have a enum runner with just a main method. I'll create a enum now. Okay, so let's go here, create a annotation class, and then there is an option for enum creation. Okay, let me choose enum creation. Right, as I already told, enums define, it's going to represent a defined set of constants. Suppose in a weeks of the day there are defined set of constant values from Saturday, from Sunday to your Saturday, right? The same way you have a month of the year from Jan to your December. Okay, these are all predefined set of constants, right? If you want to maintain something like this, then enum is going to be helpful. In our Selenium framework, we want to maintain some constants like presence, clickable, and then visibility, invisibility, something like this. So we want people to only use these four sets, not any other stuff. Okay, that's why we want to use constant, but enums. So first let me create a enum of types, let me name it a severity. I'm going to take an example from our defects. Okay, since we are testers, we create defects. Okay, normally we can, it we create defects with different severity. Okay, it can be critical, it can be your high, medium, low, right? So it's a predefined set of constants. So I'm gonna use that for our use case. So I have created a enum. See, it's of type enum. It's not class. It's not an interface. It's not annotation. It's of type enum. Okay, and then I'm gonna create what and all the possible severity my defects can have. Can have critical, can have high, can have medium, and it can have low. This is all. This is what I want people to use. I don't want people to come up with a different severity name and then use it. Oh, no, in my project they want to use only these four. Okay, now good. Again, you want to end it with semicolon, it's your ways. If you don't want to end it with your semicolon, that's absolutely fine, but preferably end it with a semicolon. Good. I don't understand what is this. This is going to be your question right now, right? What you have defined some words here, and then they are telling it's enum. How can I understand? I don't know all these things. Then, okay, see this. Okay, when I create a enum like this, okay, enum like this, the Java compiler will implicitly create something like this, something like a class. Again, I cannot name it severity, so that's why I am name it a severity class, but it will be like a class of severity. Okay, it will gonna have some final constant values. See, I'm gonna creating a variable for this, and then creating an object for this. So this is a set of constants, right? Collection of constants. So this is how the compiler will understand this particular code. This is implicitly equal to this. Okay, instead of creating with a lot of verbosity, you can create like this. Yeah, and let's see how we can use this in our case. Okay, you told about a lot, but how can I use this? Okay, let me go to the enum runner. I want to use this. How can I use this? Compare, this is a class and you have a static variable. Okay, how will you call this? You will call with name of your class name with your variable name, static variable name, right? That's how you call a normal static. Suppose if there is a final static string, suppose I have a static string, some a equal to abcd, something like this. How will you call this from external to this class? If you want to call from other place, severity class dot a, the same way you need to call. Okay, so here, this is the severity and this is your constants, right? So I'm going to call with the help of severity dot critical, right? So let me go here. Let me try to print it. Severity dot critical. Again, if you're, this is a reference type, right? This is a reference type. It's not a direct value. So people are expecting you to print hash code and other stuff, but enums by default, okay, Java compiler by default, okay, adds a toString toString method to it. Okay, it overrides the toString method available in your object class, and it provides its own implementation. So with that, this gonna return me, okay, something really interesting now. So see critical. So what it'll do, it's like you are calling something like this. Okay, but it will be implicitly called. Okay, you don't have to specifically call this. So what it'll do, it'll convert this severity type into a string, and then it'll print it for us. So this is how it is. Okay, now we understood how we can use this. Now we also want to know how can I use this in a if statements. Okay, I want to do comparison, I want to do switch cases with this. How can I do that? Okay, let's see. Suppose I have something called as severity type and equal to severity dot critical. So this is a variable of type severity, right? So I want to use it in if condition. So if sev equals okay, severity dot critical, I want to perform some task. CSS out critical, I want to perform some task. Okay, else, okay, else if I have severity dodge medium. So you can add more statements, right? So you, so I'll copy paste this again, guys. If you find my videos little slow, please change the playback settings to 1.5 or 2 so that you don't feel any slowness. Okay, so you can write a if condition like this. Suppose here it will match this particular if condition and it will print this particular value. Let's see whether it is printing or not. So this is how we can use enums in a if blocks. Okay, now I want to use this in switch case. How can I do that? Again, guys, you can type it manually, but if you already have a if statement, just select it, right click. There is an option called quick fix. Okay, just choose this, and it's telling me a lot of options. Okay, what I want to do, convert if else to switch. This is the easiest way to convert your if case, if else statements to switch. Okay, because I'm lazy to do all the typing myself. So you can have a switch condition where you can feed your enum, okay, enum value here, and then you can do a case comparison. You can also have your default block and other stuff, but this is how we can use a switch case. Okay, it will still work the same way like before. Just save the file and run it. Yeah, we are still getting the same answer. So this is how we can use enums in if and switch. Okay, there are certain methods that are available in in enum. So what are those? You told about values, you told about value of. How can I do that? Okay, maybe before that I'll cover the value of. Okay, suppose this is how we have, right? Suppose this is of type severity, but imagine you have only string type and you want to do a comparison with this. Okay, suppose I directly try to compare with the string critical, so it will throw error. Okay, incompatible operator types, string and severity. You are trying to compare a string and a severity, how this is going to work? Okay, by default it has a two string, but why it is not doing that? No, it will not work in this case. Okay, then how can I use this? Okay, in that case what you can do, there is something called as value of. Okay, then you can give critical. So what this will do, this will return me a severity type. Even if I copy this, okay, I paste it here. Okay, suppose if I tell this is a string. Okay, okay, string a, but it will tell me this is not of string a, it is of type of severity. See, so you can actually do the comparison like this. Okay, either you can give the variable here as a, or you can directly use this particular thing for your comparison. This is the use of value of. Value of will accept a string and then it will try to convert it to the enum type. Okay, so you can use these things whenever you need. Okay, after that what else we have? Now we also have values method, right? So there is something called a severity dot values. Okay, see, this values method is giving me a severity array. Okay, so what I can do, if you want to store it in some array, again I'm little lazy to type the whole thing. What I normally do, I'll give something like string a equal this, but it will ask me to change this. Okay, I'll do like this. Okay, and then you can do all the for loop iteration. Then you can print all the stuff that you want to do. Suppose if you want to iterate this, you can type something like this, and this is the array, and you can print out whatever you want. So this is how we can do this. Okay, so this will actually print me all the values that I have. Again, I have this already, so it's printing me twice, but otherwise it will. Again, if you don't want to do this way, you can also use some easy way. Okay, Java 8 way, severity dot values. Okay, and then I can convert this in the form of arrays dot as list. then you can pass this whole thing there. You get a list now. Okay, and then you can use for each, you can use stream as well. uh, Whatever the value that I get, I just want to print it out. Okay, again, this is just a simple lambda, right? Again, you don't even have to use this whole stuff. It can understand, so I can use a method reference here. So you don't even have to write this. It's very simple now, more clean way of doing this. Cancel. I think I have removed one extra brackets. It's fine. See, again, it's doing the same job for us. Again, we understood how to iterate this, how to use this values of method. The important thing is this values of method will return you all the values that this whole thing has. Okay, and then we can also have some abstract methods in our enum. But before that, I'll try to cover the set. So if we have something called as enum set, okay, there is something called as enum set where the generics, I'm going to tell you, it's going to store severity type. Okay, enum set. Okay, you, you can just directly use enum set dot off. There is a method called off where you can directly feed all the values that you want to pass. So I want to pass severity dot critical and severity dot high, something like this. You can add more values, but for now, simple reasons, I'm not doing all these things. So again, for each, I'm using a Java 8 way. Uh, you can use a normal way of iteration as well. Just println. Sorry guys for the typo. Okay, you can do like this because you can hold, you can even store it in a hash set, but enum set is a proper way of doing it. Okay, you can, anyway, we will not be using this in our framework, but the one what I'm going to teach now, I will definitely use it in the framework. So make sure that you follow this. Okay, so we have something called as map, which is going to hold something like severity, and then I want to hold some string value as a value, and maybe I can name it as map called new hash map. Yes, new hash map. It's fine. Implement, import all the packages. Now I want to put something into it. See, it's asking for severity as a key and value as this. So what is the severity here? I can tell severity dot high, and then I want to store it in small letters. Maybe I don't want the capital letters. Okay, so the same way I'm using critical and then critical. For example, I'm just taking only two, but if you want, you can add more. Again, you can do iteration and then you can print it. But see, the solar lint is telling me, see, convert this map to an enum map. This is what, see, if you're trying to if your all your keys are of a type enum, okay, it's not of string type, it's not of integer, it's not of some other type, it's of enum, right? So if you're going to hold the enum as a key in your map, then there is a better way to do this instead of a hash map. Okay, so what it's telling, let's open the description and then understand. Okay, so when all the keys of a map or value from the same enum, the map can be replaced with a enum map, which is more efficient than other set because the underlying data structure is simple array. So that's what we are doing. Actually, if you're going to have a color enum, if you're going to store it as a key and value, then instead of this is a non-compliant code. This is what we have used, but it is telling use a enum map with the enum map implementation and pass your enum class here in the constructor. Okay, that's what it is telling. So we always consider this thing because it's a better way, right? It's much more efficient, they are telling. Okay, I don't want to go into the comparison, but they are telling it's a better way. So we'll try to use enum map. Okay, enum map, and then it's asking for the class which enum type you are going to store here. So severity dot class. Now my Java is happy, my sonar lint is happy. Again, you can print all these values if you want. Again, you can use a Java 8 way or your normal for each way, whatever you want. So I'm gonna get some key and values here. Okay, and if I I'm just going to print them. Okay, I'm not going to do anything else. Okay, key, just print the key. I just want to print the key. I don't want to print even the value. I'm not bothered about it for now. Again it will still work. So okay, so this is how it is. So you can do a lot of stuff. So this is what we're going to use in our framework for a certain use case. But make sure you understand this properly. If you're not understanding, please leave your comment in the section. Sorry, your comment in the YouTube section, so I can revert with some good examples for you. Good. Again, as I told, you can also have methods in Enum. Okay, all the stuff, it's also possible. So what I'm going to do, I'm trying to create a, suppose if you want to create a abstract method for this, then what you can do, public and abstract. Y- you can do anything like this. Suppose I want to give this whole thing as a lowercase, lowercase. Okay, this is an abstract method. Once I name this as abstract, if you notice, this whole thing is showing me an error. Okay, it's asking me to provide the implementation for this. See, the enum constant critical must implement the abstract method as lowercase. So I'm just telling fix all the four problems of this same category in this file. So it will add the those methods for me to override and provide my own implementation. Okay, so it has to return something. So what I'm going to do is critical. Okay, dot just toString dot lowercase, some implementation. You can provide some implementation. This is just an example that we can have all this whole thing in your enum as well. Okay, you can provide a lot of implementation. You can add more thing here, and then if you want to use it here, you can just use this out, and then you have your severity enum dot critical dot. Then see, now you are getting an option as lowercase. This is coming from your severity. Now everything looks fine. But also, if you notice, there is something called as compare to, and then equals. Then a lot of things like get declaring class. This is all coming from there is enum class. Okay, this is all coming from your enum class. Okay, but if you notice, my severity class is not extending anything else. Okay, it's not extending anything else. But when you declare something as enum, it by default extends java.lang.enum. Okay, if you want to know how that looks, you can just type enum and then open the implementation. It's an abstract class enum. Okay, it will have all the methods that I told you, the name method, the ordinal method, everything. Okay, the toString, everything. It has all these things. Okay, good. So this is why you cannot sorry guys, you cannot extend. Yes, sorry guys, another class, because it's not possible. Multiple inheritance is not possible in Java, right? So if you notice, even the error message here, okay, it's telling syntax error on token extends. Implement is expected, because you can implement as many as interface you want, but you cannot extend two classes. That's not possible in Java. That's why you cannot extend anything here. Okay, now even you can have some instance variable, okay, for all your stuff. Okay, what I'm going to do, see guys, if you're getting confused, you always compare it with the class like this. Okay, suppose I can have an instance variable something like this here of int the fixing hours. I have something called as fixing hours. Okay, it varies. Okay, it varies for the type of defect. If the defect is critical, it should be fixed in 2 hours, something like that. Okay, so it varies for the constant. So what I can have, I can also have a severity class. Okay, the constructor where I can get the integer hours. Okay, and then initialize this fixing hours equal to hours, something like this. You can do this in a class. Okay, so I guess it's showing error, but this is for a demonstration purpose. So if I go here, the same way I can have here, okay, severity, and it may throw error because it will ask you to, okay, just a minute. So Unimplemented methods. Okay, I think this is what causing the issue. Let me remove this for now, and then remove this whole stuff so that we get something like this before. Again, you can write it in the same line. You can write it in different lines. That doesn't matter. And most importantly, I think I need to create this below beneath. So the public severity is showing some error. Private is limited. Okay, sorry guys, it should be private. Okay, so now I can pass some integer value to this constructor. So int has, okay, and then I can create some instance variable here, mm, of private int fixing has, something like this. Okay, I have something here. Then I can tell fixing has equal to house. Again guys, this we're not going to use this in a framework, but we need to understand everything. So otherwise we cannot use when we are need. Okay, so please learn something like a Java developer, but whenever you get a chance to implement it. Otherwise just have the knowledge with you. Okay, now it's showing me error. What it's telling, the constructor severity is undefined. Okay, so I need to you know pass the values from my test method as well for this. So if I go back to my enum runner, so instead of this, okay, severity dot critical, hey, you can directly, this is 2 hours, this is 4 hours, this is 6 hours, this is 8 hours. This is just for our understanding, right? So now I can directly get this variable. I can use a getter method for this. Quickly create a getter some setters, fixing hours. Yes, I want to get this. I don't want to set. If you want to do setting as well, you can do that. But for now, I'm doing like this. Okay. So what I can do, I can, if you want to access this, get fixing hours. I want to get the fixing hours for my uh, critical defect. Okay. So you can do all these things. But again, we are not going to use this in our Selenium framework as of now. But if you have a need to use it in somewhere in your case, then you can use this. See, we can get all these things. So these are all the things that we have in Enum. But most importantly, among all these topics that I taught now, just make sure you have understood the Enum map, because that's what we're going to use. How we can use it and switch or if else conditions. That's very important. And also know about the values and value of method, which is also going to help us in solving the issues that we have in our Selenium framework. Again, guys, I will not cover this now. I'll cover that in another video, how to fix the existing issue that we have. Until then, you all have a very good day. Thank you all for watching. If you like my videos, please do share with your friends, subscribe to the channel, and leave your comments in the section. Thank you, guys.